Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your next episode of Not Table Talk. I'm your host, as always, Shawn Ambrosino. With me, again, is VP, the man, Chris Waldrum, or as we like to call him around here, Numero Dos. No, we don't call you that at all. That could mean
so many different things.
All I was thinking was number two from Austin Powers.
Oh, no.
Who does number two work for?
Yeah. Oh, that was a good one. Always with the pop references.
I'm a pop.
You know, people are like, "What?" Google it, they're like, "Oh."
If you guys don't know Austin Powers, then go kick rocks.
Mike
and
Myers.
flip-flops.
Mike Myers is in Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah,
I saw that in the beginning. I was like, "Where was he?" And I saw his role. I was like,
yeah.
Good spot.
He's basically playing a version of a Scottish British version of his characters
that he plays in everything.
Yeah, but serious.
He's the best at that too. Okay, what are we talking about?
We're talking about
people
today,
substance.
Substance. What we're talking about is, dude, we're getting so close to a full friggin' relaunch of the brand.
Did you guys even notice?
Did you guys see this stuff?
Did you even notice what we have going on right here?
It's so
radiating energy.
It's so pretty.
And vibrance and love.
I can't wait till we're all, like, when we're finished and done and we can just breathe and do what we want to do, which is
kick ass, take names.
Yeah. Destroy the world.
Yep. That's it.
And so
by making you buffer, though.
Yeah.
Destroying the world by making people buffer and healthier. Take our supplements. Let's go.
Dude, here's the truth. This is the God's honest truth. I want to put everybody on notice.
Let's go.
I want to put every other company out there on notice. And because, dude, we got the quality. We've got the legacy. Mm-hmm. Now we have the continuity.
What's more important than all three of those, though? What's more important?
Marketing.
I talk about it all the time. No, more important than that.
Attitude?
It's the fucking people that make up the company. It's the team. Yes, now we have probably the coolest looking products out there. Yes, we have the highest quality. Our marketing is dope, and it's only getting better. But we got the dopest people on our team. I say it all the time. And that's why we got to have more people on our podcast so you could see, peek behind the curtain to all of the individuals who are contributing to what we're doing right now. That's the biggest part.
The problem is not everybody is as gregarious as we are. Not everybody is as comfortable on camera as we are.
Or pretty.
What's funny is I'm more comfortable doing this than I am doing like promotional work. Now, I did years as a professional wrestler, and my job was to cut promos, and I was terrible at it. That's why I was in a tag team with somebody who was good at it.
The good kind of tag team, bad kind of tag team.
Depends
what you define.
There's a spectrum there. So I was never comfortable like yelling at the camera about stuff that I didn't know.
Yep.
But when I just get to talk and do stuff that I'm passionate about, I don't come off too bad.
Yeah.
And if we could just get the people, when we're talking to them, the people that work here, when we're sitting at a table and we're talking to them, they're rad. They're awesome.
Yep.
Moment you tell them, hey, look, there's a camera in this room.
Record. Dissolve.
They do not like
so many people, though. So many people are like that. I mean, I would say the majority of the populace does not want to be in front of the camera. And there's a certain archetype, certain individual that might be overly confident, maybe sometimes competent, that will get in front of the camera because they don't give two shits. They're just like, whatever, just going to give it your all, and whatever people think doesn't really matter.
So, yes, that's us. I think that's us. We're both confident and relatively competent.
Bebop and who? Rocksteady.
Rocksteady and Bebop. Chris is the mastermind behind this whole new look. He was... I guess this process started back in
March 2023 this year.
So it's been ongoing.
Technically,
now,
yeah.
We do have a lot of products. Like that's the issue. That's the time issue.
Yep.
I can see what Chris is doing right now. Chris is dissecting the stuff that he sees, and he's not happy with what he sees. So I'm asking him not to do that. I'm asking him just to look at it as a whole.
It's glorious.
Look at it as a whole, and look at these things next to each other.
Yep.
This thing, like, I don't know if the camera does it justice.
Maybe not that far away.
Maybe not. Maybe even if I move it up closer.
But it's glorious.
This is...
What product is it?
This is the stem-free Lipo 6.
Lipo 6 stem-free, which is a brand new updated formula that has not been revealed.
Has not been revealed.
But by the time you see this, which is going to be hopefully soon, it'll be out in a couple weeks. Not very long. Don't hold me accountable for that, though. It might be a year.
I just realized this version has the wrong lid on it, but that's okay.
Who put the wrong lid on it?
I think the wrong lid was on it.
Oh.
But that's all right.
Well, we're doing good so far.
We're doing good.
Yeah, we're doing good.
There's a lot, like for those that can't see and you won't be able to see, there's a lot of what's going on in these labels. Obviously,
lots of texture.
You can see the foil, but what you can't see is the texture. And what I wanted to dive into a little bit is how did you come up with the inspiration as far as like where did the texture isn't just texture for texture's sake. There's thought behind this texture, and obviously like the Phantom X, as I like to call it, that's in all the products. That was that the base, or where do we start? When you started, where did you start with?
It all started a cloudy Saturday afternoon when the sun just came up. No, that's not the afternoon. Anyways, after a couple grams of dried mushrooms later, I'm just kidding, guys. Don't do drugs. Don't kill me. So, whenever I design labels, and one thing a lot of designers do not do, they don't look at the base elements of which every other aspect of the label will be built off of. So, base elements, I mean like the sublayers, the background, and then the layers that are stacked up before you get to all of the copy, the brand name, the logo, etc., ingredients, flavor icons. So when I build a label, I look at it as a book or as a story or as a novel, poem, whatever you want to call it, that I write. And everything has to start with an idea and a foundation. And my foundations usually start with the background, because all of the elements that go on top of that have to be cohesive with it. And a lot of times, designers will start with the top elements and then force the background around it, so you don't have that nice flow or consistency. It doesn't look like the whole picture. It might look pretty, but to another designer, they're going to cringe. So when I started designing these, obviously the very bottom is a black, and you might not be able to see it, but it is a gloss black. And then on top of the gloss black, you're going to have this nice, what's called soft touch, which is a very velvety, smooth texture of a dark gray. And for lack of better words, it's almost all blacks. It's just different variations with slightly little bit of white added to it. And then on top of the matte, because we have three different varnishes here. So we have the spot gloss, we have the soft touch, and then the almost raised, I always say like braille is a good comparison, even though it doesn't go up that much. It's called tactile. And tactile is another varnish that goes on top of it. So with the background, you have three different types of varnishes that are all put together like a puzzle that work together. And then on top of that, then you start with the actual design, where you have the product name, our motto, which is Be Unstoppable, the logo, and all the other copy or call outs that you put on there. So it's like you're starting to build this machine, or you're writing a story. You have to have the foundation, and then as you go up, you're just finishing off the story with the little bells and whistles or whatever call outs or kind of marketing that you want to convey on it. And then it wraps up into a total package.
Now, I can say I read Braille, and I don't appreciate what Chris said about my mother.
Nope. Hopefully nobody else reads that.
Yeah. Well,
wait a minute.
Wait a second. Right. By the way, this, what did you say, velvety?
Soft touch, yeah,
Soft
velvety.
Touch. It really is. It's like...
It's hard to convey.
It's really hard to convey.
Like,
it's
just
like
so smooth.
Super smooth, but not like... There's a difference between that and like the gloss.
Absolutely.
Like this is much... It's smoother. Mm-hmm. The gloss is smoother, but this is softer. It's like it's hard to explain.
It's a sensory experience.
It is a sensory experience. As far as the the rip element.
Yep.
What was the idea behind the rip element?
So if you look at the background is comprised of tears. So it's
Let
again,
me put this up here so you guys can see.
it might be hard to see, but if you have it in your hand, it's literally multiple tears, maybe 20, 25 tears that I started to configure together in like a puzzle piece. So you have that as the background, and then the element that calls out the flavor, because everything is just so dark, you have to have some sort of contrast to pop on the shelves, and that's why all of our flavors against the matte black or the soft touch black, it radiates out and it catches your eye. So the tear that indicates the flavor name is really just pulling from the back of the design through it, so you have consistency throughout. So you get this all continuity, like we say, in the design and then throughout the line. Gorgeous.
So what was the first? Did we do? What was the first? Amped.
Yep, very first one.
When did you know you had it? When you looked at it, when did you go, this is the shit?
Boom. So I'm a really slow designer, and this was a collaboration with Liz Ritchie, who's another designer in the industry. If you don't know who she is, look her up. Her Instagram tag is Ritchie Design. She's phenomenal, one of the best out there, if not the best. So it was a collaboration with her where we started working on the base foundation, like, okay, what is the brand messaging? What do we want the aesthetics of this to convey about the brand? And she did one, I did one. The one I did ended up to be the one that they picked, but to be honest with you, and it took me maybe a month or 6 weeks just to come up with this, messing with different variations. This was the very first one that I completely put together. And when I put it together and I showed Liz was like, well, fuck, they're going to take yours. They're going to take yours. I'm like, I don't know, because hers looked really good. She's phenomenal. But they're like, they're going to take yours. It just looks like it's on brand. Showed them that first one. That's when Lee was here. Showed Jens, showed Manny, and everybody collectively was like, fuck, dude, this is it. This is it. And there were variations that were built off of that, and it did evolve. But the base layout with the tears, all the textures, the elements that make it really unique, that was like a home run. And it was, to my knowledge, from what they've told me, after working with designers, multiple designers, spending money with agencies, it is the first time that they're like, shit, we have something here. We finally could do a rebrand. And it's something that they've been considering for a couple years now. So it took a long time.
Before you and I signed on here, I think it was attempted a few different times.
Absolutely, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And every brand should consider that. I mean, you have to keep your brand fresh.
Yep.
And if there's not if you don't give it at least a facelift, every couple of years, you're just gonna sit back and watch other
Disappear.
people shoot in front of you, and it's like the perfect timing for something like this that is more like the previous attempt at the rebrand was a little, I don't want to say dated, but it was
dated.
It was okay.
He's right.
Dated.
It was very dated, and it didn't look horrible. It just looked like something that would be very popular in the 90s, and that's it. Composition was cool. There was just no fresh elements to it, and when I designed for something that's going to look great 3 or 4 years from now, and not just what I thought looked good last year.
Right, and what we'll do is in a couple of years we'll just flip it. We'll put the tear on the top.
That's it.
There we go. We win.
Upside down
tear.
Different color. Good to go.
Now, what do you think? So, as far as continuity, like how important is that? Do you think to the overall brand? Like, how important is it to have a cohesive look that goes throughout the brand?
That's indicative to the brand DNA. So maybe not until recently it's become, I think, very important now. The logo used to be one of the main determining factors of brand identity, or when people see it, there's immediate recognition. And now with brands and companies like us, since we have so many different products, whereas other companies might have 2 or 3, they don't really need to have, too much. They could do a little bit of more wilder stuff outside of like Pepsi, which even now they're doing some really unique designs. But with us, since we're sold in almost every single country around the world, and we have a very extensive and robust line, the continuity is just extremely important, because when you see our products on the shelf, you want it to look like a complete picture of who we are with the company. Like it's detailing out the history of Nutrex with that continuity and the brand identity. And the line that we had that we're kind of evolving away from, there were a lot of really good ideas, and some of the designs were outdated, but they were so contrasting to each other that if you saw it on the shelf, you would think it was 2 to 3 different brands. And what I want is, if you have us even scattered throughout the store, mixed among all of our competitors, that you see that and you're like, that is Nutrex. You know, and there's a couple other companies that have that. Cellucor is one of them. Do you see any Cellucor? It might even not be the greatest looking product, but you're like, that's fucking Cellucor. That's Cellucor. And with this, it's a really unique design. It's not wild or outlandish. It doesn't have a shitload of colors like some of these other, in my opinion, immature looking brands, childish brands. This is something where you could see, no matter what, if it's just going to be kind of our essentials commodity line, our proteins, the EAAs, you look at it and you're going to know exactly who it is and where to look on the label too, which is another really important part, is having the hierarchy. So you're like, that's Nutrex. This is their creatine. It's creatine monohydrate. What does it do? So it tells a story to your eyes.
And by the way, I'm also proud of these labels because there's a little bit of Shawn on every single one. Well, not on every single one,
but in every single one. But maybe not.
But on most of the labels, there's a little bit of Shawn, because I came up with the subtext underneath these. These are all my words,
brainchild.
And I think that, you know, we've asked people, and they think it does add to the sale. Mm-hmm. Like it adds, because you're not just, it's not just some major corporation behind this. It's people.
Yeah, it's not thoughtless.
It's not thoughtless.
It has intent,
yes,
and meaning to it, and that's why I said the team. I make things look pretty, but Shawn puts the text to warm up your heart.
I try.
Yeah.
You know, I want to touch the people. I want to.
As long as you're over 18, okay.
Now we have a few more. How many more products do you think we have to go?
If anybody watching is not familiar with the extent of our offerings, we have a lot, but we've started to consolidate and really focus on the winners. And as far as the rebrand goes, we might have another, when I say products, it's going to be like, a name, Isofit, then we got 6 flavors. So I think we have another like 10 to 15 total. And within those, there might be flavor variations or extensions of those flavors. But the ones that aren't shown are all the international versions, and we might have another 50 of international versions, and maybe even more, because we're in so many countries. I mean, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, they'll have their own thing. There's a million different Latin American countries. They might have their own thing too. So there'll be a lot more outside of what you see, but these are going to be the bulk of the American domestic offerings.
Yeah, I'm super stoked. Like, again, like just looking at it, it makes it a cohesive brand. It makes it look like, okay, we have an identity.
We got something.
We have something here. We have an identity. If you go throughout any store, you're going to see it. It's going to look different than most of the things out there.
Yep.
It'll have similar elements as to some things, but it looks totally different.
Yes.
And I went to Vitamin Shop yesterday, and I saw a lot of the brands. I was buying stuff that we don't have, so I was looking and seeing what the other brands are doing, and like it's either you're either 100% in your face color out the yin yang,
obnoxious,
for the sake of, it's like almost for the sake of just being bright. It doesn't seem like there's any kind of thought behind it. It's just like here's a bunch of colors so your eyes catches it, but it doesn't seem to be like a lot of thought behind it. Or it is so boring.
Yeah,
like there's nothing
minimalist.
to it. Yeah. Minimalist, right? And I guess when you have the biggest bodybuilding star in the world, you really don't have to put a lot of...
Put it in a paper bag, sign it.
Yeah, like honestly...
It's going to sell.
Honestly, you could probably put that in... You could honestly put it in a paper bag.
Oh, yeah. It probably even increase sales. We're giving away ideas now.
Yeah.
What's in your bag?
You're welcome. But it's like, it's. I was just surprised at there's really no in between. It's
contrast.
It's
two
just
directions.
like it's either boom or It's like it totally weirded me out. I was like, well, we're gonna stand out.
Yep.
When we're on a shelf. I also think we're gonna stand out just online.
Yeah.
Not just because of the look, but also, again, I say this every time. There's something about having the power of quality behind you. Mm-hmm. The power of being able to stand on something that isn't aesthetics. It's totally, this does what it says it does.
Yep.
And
trust. You build the trust.
And for over 21 years,
yep.
this company has built trust. It's built on the legacy of products that work.
Yep, that were game changing too. That were game changing. They, at the time, they were, and they created entire categories. It was Nutrex was a real trailblazer, and now we are coming back into that again. But you're totally right. They had a dramatic impact, positive impact in the industry that charted its own course to where a lot of other brands followed, and we're positioning ourselves to do that again.
Yeah, it's like it honestly feels like. I remember when we were talking in the office. We have this analogy where we're talking about the ether and shaping it, but it also feels like trying to put it into words. It's like that we're in that position. Like we have a rocket booked to Mars, mm-hmm. and we're now like we're trying on the space uniforms, right? It's like we're gotten to a point where this is real. This is happening. This is about to happen. We're trying on the space uniforms, and then the next step is, all right, now it's time to test fire the rocket, and then
implementation,
and then after that, it's
yep.
we're headed to Mars.
Yep.
So it's like it feels like the beginning. It truly is now it's here. Now it's real, and this is happening.
Yeah.
So it's like, ooh, baby, let's do it.
Yeah, it takes a long time. It took us a long time to get here.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of great people in place with great ideas and zero follow through, zero application. And I always say ideas are completely meaningless, even the most genius ideas, if there's no application and no follow through to it. And now we have incredible ideas because of our team and constant follow through, constant progress. And where Nutrex is going to go from where we are now is it's going to be indistinguishable to where we've ever been. And people are literally, this is not me hyping it up, they're going to be in awe and shocked with what we're doing.
Well, and that was, we were talking earlier today, and that was something Chris portrayed. Is like Chris, as he picks up his, show him that logo.
Nope.
You son of a gun. Chris could have done something else here, but he chose Nutrex because of the potential, and that's like that's huge. That's huge. Chris could have written his ticket to a lot of different places, and he chose Nutrex.
Thought about it yesterday.
I mean, and what brought him in? But what brought him in was potential, but not potential of the products, because he knows the products are quality. Mm-hmm. It was the potential of the people here, and that's what kind of like got him stoked.
Yep, absolutely. Said it a million times over. Told my wife too. First time I came here was mid-March. I remember that too, because that's right after they gave me the CMO position, and they're like, all right, Chris, be the creative marketing officer. And I was like, what? Okay, what does that even mean? Then came here to assess everything. I was like, okay, all right, there's a lot to clean up. Then I started meeting everybody, and it was after I met every single person here, excluding some of the warehouse, which I still need to meet, but everybody in the office, I went back to talk to my wife, Stephanie, and I was like, wow, it felt right. When you meet somebody, you never talked to them in your entire life. You stumble across them. Like you and I, when I had a first conversation, I was like, fuck, we're cut from the same cloth, mm-hmm. And you're like, that's a buddy that I would go to war for. And I feel like that exact same way for everybody in the office, that I would do anything in my capacity to make sure that they succeed. And that's exactly what drives me every single day. But it's because of those people that I was fucking fired up. Let's do it. Mm-hmm.
been meaning to ask you about that because I got this kidney problem. You think you can hook me up with one of yours?
One of my kidneys?
You just said you'd do anything to help me succeed. I mean,
yep. My liver. I probably got a quarter of my liver left. You could have
no. That you can keep. You can keep that. You can keep that liver.
Chris gave his liver, then he just died. I don't know what happened. Apparently, you need it.
No, dude, I'm so stoked. I can't wait till the next phase.
Yeah.
Guys, if you could only knew what we did today. This morning, like I'm still jazzed on what we did this morning.
Power sesh.
And it's one of those things like it's when you stumble on it was like the tumblers to the locks all fell into place and it just makes total sense.
Yeah, like divine alignment.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It goes in and then a ray of sunlight with a little rainbow goes across the room and you're like, is that God talking to me? And it's our collective consciousness fucking aligning with each other.
And when we bring that to you guys, like I like again, this is a little premature. It may be a little premature. Here we are in October, and we're talking about this, but this is going to be a couple months down the line. But I am 100% confident it could change everything.
Absolutely, especially our company. We're going to new heights. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. But yeah, Nutrex has been successful without any kind of implementation of the marketing that we're going to do. So that shows the durability and the fortitude of the brand, the grit that the brand has. It's been successful without nobody really driving marketing, a lot of good ideas with no follow through. So we have an already durable brand that is doing very well, that is going to grow exponentially, and it is going to shock, like I said, a lot of people are going to be like, holy shit, how did they do it? We're going to fucking do it. Believe me.
And what's weird is this podcast really wasn't started to talk about Nutrex.
Nope.
It was just kind of
evolved into it.
It kind of evolved into it. It was started just to talk about health and fitness and, you know, and just our industry as a whole. But it's like, it's hard not to talk about something when you're jazzed about it.
I'm excited.
You're excited about it. It's like, and look, there's a lot of people that aren't going to have that same excitement, but they will be excited once they start, or if they do start taking or using what is being created right now. Yep. It's like we got this business, this industry. If you're doing it right, is about changing lives. It should never be about making money. It should never be about the
self-serve interests.
Yeah, self-serve. The next flavor, just to try to grab a few more dollars. The goal in this industry is to change lives, to use science to change lives. And what is going to happen is going to change lives, and that's just so something to be stoked on. And that's where I'm at.
It's a revolution of health. The 3 pillars: your mind, body, and your soul. But your body has to be intact for your mind and your soul to be aligned. And we're going to make sure that the body is fucking good.
That's our job. All right, I think we're good.
I'm stoked. Yeah, we talked about more than I expected, and this is a reveal of the beautiful ISOFIT. I'm not going to put it too close, so if you can't see it, you let your imagination do the rest. That is the new stem-free. Don't show the formula. The formula hasn't been released. You kind of did.
A little bit. Well, if they have eyes that
Shotgun big, Larry over here.
If they have eyes that good,
they're going to screen capture and then enhance the resolution.
Enhance.
And then they're going to leak it online. And I'm going to text Shawn at 2 a.m. Listen, bro. Don't do that.
They deserve it. If they get that,
put in that much effort.
Close.
Yeah, I agree. New ISOFIT's going to look incredible. All of our commodities, creatine, glutamine, which we sell a ton of this. So if you didn't know we have glutamine or creatine, pick some up online. We have it in 300 gram and the kilogram. It's at a really good price too, and it is the highest premium quality. Obviously, Outlift Burn is going to be the strongest pre-workout. And by now, if you've watched and tried it, you know I'm not lying. If you haven't tried it, know that I am not lying, because it is that strong and it's a badass formula. But we have a 10-pound bag of protein coming out. We have a game-changing product, which was our conversation earlier today, that is going to sound so cheesy. It's going to revolutionize a category, but it really is. It's a really dope formula, and it's super unique, and it's something that everybody could take and benefit from, whether you're a dude or a lady. It is going to be awesome. More flavor extensions, another Outlive Clinical, which is going to be updated. So,
by the way, if you guys have flavors you'd like to see in like ISOFIT or
DM us, or drop it in the comments.
Drop a comment, guys. Any of our EAAs, our pre-workouts, they all come in flavor profiles that are
incredible.
That
really
are
good.
incredible as they are, but you guys are who we base that off of. So if there's a flavor you guys would like to see, message it. Put it in the comments. Let us know. I read these things. Whatever, every day I log in to see what everybody's saying, and I'm a little hurt when I log into the YouTube.
Where's all the comments?
Where's all the comments on YouTube? So please, guys, besides liking, sharing, and subscribing,
make him happy.
Comment. Make me be the first. Be the first one on the video. Comment. I will do a happy dance for you.
First one on the video, Shawn's going to give you a $20 gift card to our website.
You know what?
There you go.
I'm going to. First person to comment on this video is going to get a $20 gift card to Nutrex.com. So comment.
If you've made it this far, you could go a little further.
Yeah, just let us know, guys.
Story of endurance.
Obviously, we're stoked. We want you guys to be stoked. You will be once you guys try this stuff. Other than that, I think we're on our rocket ship to Mars. We're going to find some cows there, I think.
Yep. Then that analogy on the next episode, we will fully break down the mathematics behind this.
Behind the cows. All right. Awesome.
Thank you
See you
guys
next time.
Appreciate it.